A mall was trying to get feedback from the customers by directly sending volunteers to the people and asking them if they had a little time to share their valuable feedback. Guess what? Only 29% people were willing to give feedback. Then the company changed its approach. Rather than asking the customer if they had time, they started asking a different question. The volunteers asked the people if they think they were helpful people, and most people said yes, as everyone considers themselves as helpful. And after that, they asked them if they would like to help the volunteer with their valuable feedback. And guess what? 77% of the people were happy to share their feedback. Now, why this simple question changed the behavior of people to a such large extent? You are about to find out. Let's take another story. Joseph Allison, who was working as a salesman in an electric motor company, got a new challenge. There was a person in his new territory that the company was trying to sell motors for the last 10 years. They tried different methods, but nothing worked. Allison tried for another 3 years, and finally, after 13 years, the man purchased some motors from his company. Allison was optimistic that few more hundred orders would follow. So he called the customer after 3 weeks. But the customer was unhappy and was not ready to place more orders. And when asked why, he said that the motors were getting too hot. He couldn't put his hands on them. Now any person would have argued with the customer, but Allison knew it wouldn't convince the customer to place more orders. So he used the yes technique on the customer. He said that he totally agrees with the customer that he should not use motors that get too hot. The customer said yes. Then he said to the customer, no one should have motors which are not up to the market standards. The customer said yes, absolutely. He then said, according to the regulations, the motors may have a temperature of 72 degrees Fahrenheit above room temperature. Isn't that true? The customer said yes, but your motors are getting too hot. Then Allison gently asked him, what is the room temperature at your mill? The customer said 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Allison said, if the room temperature is 75 degrees and you add 72 degrees to that, that makes it 147 degrees. Wouldn't that temperature burn your hand? The customer said yes. And then Allison said, wouldn't it be wise to keep your hands off these motors? The customer said yes, you're right. The customer realized that it was not the fault of the motors. And guess what? The customer not only understood his mistakes, but also lined up orders worth $35,000. Now imagine what would have been the outcome had Allison argued with the customer rather than gently listening to him. This is the power of the yes technique, which teaches you how to handle difficult situations in life, be it in professional or personal life. So what is this yes technique? This method is also called Socrates method, which says rather than arguing with another person, you should try to get the other person agree with you by asking him questions where the answer is yes. Your success depends on the number of yes you collect before proposing your idea. And once you ask a few questions like that, for which the other person has said yes several times, you bring the other person in that zone of saying yes. And it will increase the probability that the person will say yes to your idea or your proposal. As you have noticed how Allison used this yes technique and converted an unsatisfied customer to place an order of $35,000. Friends, I have told you this story and the technique from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It is a must read for all. You can get the book from the Amazon link shared in the description. This book teaches many other useful techniques which can be used to improve your people skills. Do let me know in the comments if anyone has used this yes technique on you and you ended up buying something you never needed. So friends, that's it for today. For more knowledgeable videos, hit the bell icon after you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, keep learning.